Welcome back to Washington Journal. It is open forum, so we will take your calls after we speak with Congresswoman Judy. She is a Democrat from California and member of the Budget and Ways and Means Committees. Congresswoman Hsu, welcome back to the program. Nice to talk to you.
Thank you, and thank you for having me here.
I want to start with the news since your district covers parts of the LA, the greater Los Angeles area. This is CBS News with this headline. It says Supreme Court lets Trump administration resume sweeping immigration stops in Los Angeles area. Can you first tell us what the implications are of that ruling and your reaction to it?
It's extremely disappointing. ICE agents have terrorized our community. They were stopping at Home Depots and at car washes and just sweeping up people based on their looks, their language. It was indeed racial profiling. And an earlier judge said that that is not right, that they should not be making these sweeps based on racial profiling and what language people speak, but instead on their warrants, on their records, which show that there are undocumented people there. And now the Supreme Court has reversed that and said that they are free to go wherever they want. And as a result, there have been tragedies. For instance, I went to the memorial of a worker who was in a Home Depot in Monrovia. ICE agents just came and tried to sweep him up. He ran away onto a freeway and was killed by an oncoming car. Tragedies like that should not happen. He was a 52-year-old grandfather. That is not right.
And as far as the National Guard that were deployed in Los Angeles earlier this year, what's the situation now? Are they still there? What are they doing if they are?
Yes, there were 4,000 National Guard troops sent here and 700 Marines. The Marines are gone, and I believe that only a couple of hundred National Guards persons are still here. They pretty much did nothing. They were not necessary. It was a waste of money and deployments. These National Guards persons were ripped away from their families and their jobs. But actually, our local law enforcement had everything well in hand and under control. This was just an attempt by the administration to show a great deal of intimidation of the people in Los Angeles, and we did not want them here. We did not, in fact, ask them to be there, and I am glad that they are largely gone.
I want to ask you, Congresswoman, about this Fox News article that says that hundreds of DoD civilians have accepted the call of duty in southern border mission under Trump's order. Now, this was a request for civilians at the Defense Department to volunteer for supporting border security and doing things at the border. Do you know about this? What's your reaction to it?
Look, there has been the largest increase in the budget for border control ever in our history, $170 billion increase in the Department of Homeland Security for this. There certainly are more than enough resources to go to the border. And in fact, there is a massive hiring effort going on with CBP. So if these employees are asked to go there on a volunteer basis, well, and they want to do it, then let them do that. But I think that there is a huge influx of funds for the border. And what I regret is the fact that there are so many other uses for these funds, whether it is in helping those who need food or their health care, how much other things could be funded with this $170 billion is astounding. And that's where that should go.
And President Trump has federalized the police department in Washington, D.C. He has announced plans to do the same in other Democrat led cities, including Los Angeles. What's your reaction to that?
A judge last week said that the nationalization of our National Guard being sent to different cities is illegal, and that what happened in Los Angeles never should have happened because there is a law. It's the Posse Comitatus, which is saying that a National Guard's troops should not be sent for local police efforts. They are for deployment to other areas and not to police our local people because, of course, there is already local law enforcement. And unless there is a true emergency, they should not be deployed to cities.
Switching to the Epstein files, I just want to play you a portion of what Oversight and Accountability Committee Chair James Comer said to reporters yesterday about the new release documents, and then we'll talk about it.
Well, the Epstein documents are released because I subpoenaed the estate for the documents. That's why we have the documents. So I know the media has been obsessed with the discharge petition. The discharge petition didn't even cover the estate. This is a serious investigation, just like I said it would be. We're going to be transparent. I think we got the documents uploaded last night on the computer. It takes, a few hours. Obviously, when I subpoena documents, they send them to the Republicans and the Democrats. Of course, the Democrats, they find one thing in there and they promote it and try to get a narrative. This investigation is about providing justice and accountability for the victims. And the Democrats, it's really disappointing to see how they've acted. I mean, Garcia, he's been on the job for about 2 weeks. He's proven to me to just be a real big drama queen because this is all about providing transparency to the American people and justice for the victims. It's not about scoring political points. So hopefully he'll mature up and get serious about the investigation. We've got a lot more documents we expect to get in. We're going to bring a lot of people in for depositions. So this investigation is moving along very rapidly, and hopefully we'll get some answers and some justice very soon.
And Congresswoman Chu, your assessment of how House Republicans have handled the issue of the Epstein files and your reaction to what Congressman Comer just said.
They are afraid of a true revelation of the documents. What is being released is only a portion of the documents out there. Now, I had the privilege of meeting with the Epstein survivors, and they talked about how they were not properly included in the investigation. They talked about how they were not notified of the different steps of the agreements that were made with Epstein. And clearly, there has been some kind of cover up in terms of what really went on in this, in the final agreement that was made about the punishment for Jeffrey Epstein. So there is a lot more that is there, and we need an actual, true release of the documents. That's what this discharge petition is all about. And I have signed it. We actually only need 2 more Republicans to sign this discharge petition, and then we can know the truth about what really happened with Epstein and what has been covered up.
And the federal government runs out of funding in 3 weeks. What is the Democratic plan to avoid a shutdown?
Well, we will support a bipartisan government funding bill that improves the health, public safety, and economic well-being of everyday Americans, but we will not support a partisan Republican spending bill that rips healthcare away from the American people. Remember, with regard to healthcare, we are facing a catastrophic situation where there are millions of Americans that will lose their ACA, their Affordable Care Act subsidy, and that will get notified actually within a month. And all these American people are going to have their health care ripped away from them unless we do something. So we have to really act quickly, and it is my desire with this government funding bill that this healthcare funding will not be ripped away from millions of Americans.
And finally, Congresswoman, the recovery efforts for the wildfires in Southern California from January, where does that stand, and how much aid has the federal government sent at this point?
So the debris removal has now been completed. It was supposed to take 18 months, but now it's been done and completed within 6 months. So it was the fastest debris removal in our nation's history. So I really have to commend the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers for that. Now, the residents of our area in the LA wildfires can begin to rebuild. But we do need the supplemental disaster aid bill to be implemented. Governor Newsom has asked for $34 billion, and the people of North Carolina truly need help as well. And they have suffered with 230 people who died in their catastrophe over the last several months. Whether it is in North Carolina or in California, disaster aid has to be passed, and we need to make sure that that funding is there so that people can return to the life that they had without worrying about whether they will recover from the most devastating moment of their lives.
And that's Congresswoman Judy Chu. She is a Democrat of California's 28th District, which covers Pasadena, Monterey Park, and Glendora, member of the Budget and Ways and Means Committees. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.